Like
Okay. So when did you pass out, by the way?
2020.
Okay. Okay. Then you worked somewhere, or like did you go for further
I
study?
worked as a developer since 2 years, and after that, I just took the break. And after that, I'm starting the freelancing stuff. It's
Okay.
yeah. Like,
Since
what
like
about you? Like, can you just introduce yourself? Like, what kind of stuff you are doing? Like, what's your qualification, and from where are you from, basically?
so I am originally from Assam. So I switched between Assam and Bangalore.
Uh-huh.
So so I did my graduation from Assam itself. I passed out in 2020, like you. Um, so once I passed out, I joined a cybersecurity firm. I worked there as a data science analyst. I
Mm-hmm.
worked there for how many years? 2 years, I guess. Previously, I was working as an intern at the same company. And like I did my during my last semester, I worked as an intern there. So then I got a PPO. So I joined them full time. So I worked there in total for like around 2 years. After which I changed to my current company where I am working as a data scientist. My previous role was mostly based in Bangalore. My current role is it's remote, but I switch between. That's why sometimes I'm in Bangalore, sometimes I'm in Assam. So that's how it's going on at the moment. So I
Okay.
mostly work with NLP, like since the beginning. My domain of say
Mm-hmm.
work has always been NLP, and it's also my domain of interest. So that's how it's going on at the moment.
Like, before
That's
going to that, like
Mhm.
projects part and all, like how did you transition into the field of data science? Like, how, what things that you, like, you got to interest into it? Like, what kind of stuff that interests you, that you want to do this data science kind of
so I was always interested in programming and stuff, but towards like say towards my third year, mostly between second and third year of my college, my interest towards data science grew. That's why I started looking up tutorials, doing some small courses, but not all. All of them, whatever I did, I was free courses. I never took a professional course or any paid course.
mm-hmm.
So I mostly am self-taught because obviously in college we didn't have any data science course or anything. I say went through a lot of YouTube tutorials, a lot of YouTube concept videos, and that's how my interest in data science grew. So like when I was also searching for my internship, like we have to do an internship for 2 months during our summer break in third year, I guess. So that's when I was looking for either data science or backend roles, basically, because that's what my interest lies in. I was never interested in front end as much. Although I'm also familiar with front end, I do know the basics and how it works. So uh, I can actually I can come up with small skeletons as well with front end and everything. But anyway, I was looking mostly on backend rules and data science roles. That's when um, I came across this opportunity at a cybersecurity firm, like in Bangalore, based out of Bangalore, where I got the opportunity to work as a data science analyst there. They were looking for data science interns, so that in so that's where I got my interest in, and I got interested by that role. So I applied for a role, and I had to do some assignment, and a lot of people from our college applied for the same post. But fortunately, I got selected. Then I went there, did my internship for 2 months first, and then the CEO of the company, they he actually told me and actually requested me to come back again, like during my final year if I could. So that's why in my final year again, in my final semester, I did an internship of 6 months there. I didn't do my course in college itself, so I went to the company, did my internship for 6 months, and at the end, I had to submit a project report kind of a thing, like what I did during my internship, what I learned, what kind of projects I worked on. That's how my last semester went. So, and at the end of like the 6 month internship, I got a PPO there. After which I joined. So
Okay.
mostly it's been like self-taught and like YouTube and internet courses help,
Yeah.
and also like a lot of practice through
Got
Kaggle
it.
and Medium
Got
and
it.
everything.
Like, I will be quite of lot of DMs I will be getting on the LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Lot of people will be DMing me, uh, like, bring the some people who is working in the senior position and all. Like, they will be always, they will be keep on talking, like there will be like different kind of roles, like web development, software development, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
several developments that can be easy, they can crack it. But when it comes to the data science part, like what things, as per your guidance, like what are the things that is very important, like as a beginner who is starting out the data science, right? So what are the key things he should focus upon, like so that he can crack the interview, so that he can get the interview calls? Like what are the key pointers that you will be going to see?
Right, right. First, of course, I mean, if you're applying somewhere, right, you
Yeah,
need to have
yeah.
an impressive resume or portfolio because, honestly speaking, getting into data science domain as a fresher, it's difficult unless like you
Yes,
need a
yes,
bit of
yes.
luck and you need also a bit of like as much as you can. You need to stand out among all the potential candidates or the pool of candidates that's there. So, I mean, I won't say it's easy; it's hard, but you need a bit of luck as well as a lot of hard work. um so to first and foremost, obviously you need to build a good portfolio, not just say like the usual projects that people do when they start. I mean, Titanic data set and news classification, those are like the common projects people do. I mean, those are good, yes, too, but to only learn for yourself, I don't think that
Mhm.
makes a very good or an impressive portfolio for a company to look at. So to in order to apply to a company, I believe that you should have some unique projects up your sleeve, like especially working on some, say, cutting edge or very bleeding edge libraries and technology. Now, say that really helps. I mean, having interesting projects like deploying it somewhere so that you can showcase to your potential employers or anything. So rather than just doing the same stuff over and over again, I really would suggest to anyone like to actually come up with their own ideas and like build their own projects. Basically, it doesn't have to
Okay.
be a
Okay.
completely new work, like completely break, a very big breakthrough, but just that combine different parts of different things and just come up with your own application or like whatever project you're coming
Okay.
building.
Got it, Aditya. Like, who is a no voice, like who is not, he will be not able to understand the text, what is a text tax about. So for a no voice, how
Mm-hmm,
you can explain that person, like he want to start it, like he wanted to build the projects, right, end to end. So
mm-hmm,
that is only which have seen the in the during the like whatever the interviews which is happening right now nowadays. So for the
mm-hmm.
new voice, how he can prepare, like step by step process, for what he can follow. He is knowing nothing. So
Right. First, obviously, you need to be good at mathematics, and also like he or she like needs to learn like how machine learning works. What is machine learning? What's training
mhm,
set? What's the test set? It's very important to know. I mean, what is data
mhm,
leakage? How do you split? Why do you want to split the data before training? This small stuff, basic stuff he or she needs to understand. What are parameters? Why are parameters important? How do you tune the hyperparameters? How it affects the final result? And also like the basic stuff that um I mean a lot of people ignore like when they begin with is that they try to build on a model based on garbage data. I mean the data isn't cleaned or it's preprocessed
mhm,
well.
mhm,
That's when like a lot of mistakes or like you don't get the correct accuracy scores or anything like that. So thing is
mhm,
it's very important and a lot of people miss out on this. It's very important to have good data before you train your model,
mhm,
irrespective of whether you're collecting it from somewhere or you are cleaning it up on your own. It's very important because otherwise if you put
mhm.
in garbage you'll always get a garbage out from a model.
Okay,
So
it's
mathematics
something like
obviously.
oats. We are saying like whatever you are feeding to the like any crops or any something like to the machine, the garbage kind of a values it will be going to give, same values it will be going to, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So obviously because machine learning models learn from
Mhm.
patterns, right? If it's
Yes,
not able to
yes.
decipher any patterns or anything from the data, it obviously won't be able to give you good performance like how you want it. So, like for a beginner, obviously learn the mathematics, learn the very basics of how
Mhm.
machine learning models work. And I don't think they should get into deep learning at first unless they have like enough confidence in themselves that they are good enough in machine learning, in classic machine learning algorithms, learn all the algorithms like from random forest, logistic regression, what are linear variables, those stuff.
SPM,
And
gradient.
once
Yeah.
yeah, and once like they have
Mhm.
enough confidence in themselves that they are given a problem, they can easily come up with a classical machine learning solution. They should move on to deep learning and like understand the basics first. Even then, do not go deep into say deep NLP or computer vision because that doesn't
Mhm.
help. At the end of the day, both NLP and computer vision work on the same basics like gradient descent, backpropagation. So
Mhm.
obviously they need to look up videos, go through courses and those stuff, like how everything works as easy as they can, obviously, and then slowly build up the complexity of learn small things of all these
Can you
concepts.
little bit share any specific project that you have worked upon and you have shared that ideology to a recruiter that the recruiter has like impressed, like this is an end-to-end projects which I'm looking for the candidate, right? Like they are looking for something like that. So
Right, right. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I had a few problems that I was looking to solve during my college years. Like, say, I was
Mhm.
mostly working on classification. I was trying to look at how clustering algorithms work, right? So, I mean, basically, then instead of using libraries and whatnot, so I wanted to code the whole clustering algorithm on my own. So I learned all the clustering algorithm, like I learned each step by step. Then, without looking at the code or anything, I tried to code the whole clustering algorithm. And once I had coded all the clustering algorithm, I tallied it with the available, say, sklearn version. I mean, sklearn implementations, and compared the results of both the algorithms, my own written algorithm and sklearn's algorithm. And when I found that it was mostly same, or I mean, I was getting the correct results, so I decided then to use the clustering algorithm to build uh I mean, what you call it, into a clustering algorithm to build a news kind of a classifier, but clustering, basically news clustering based on, like, say, the similar topics will be clustered all together. And that I actually got it deployed through a AWS machine. Had deployed through an AWS machine.
Mhm.
So that kind of I could then actually present it, or say demonstrate it to other end users as well, so that I could show them
Okay.
that this is a clustering algorithm I made, and this is a news, I mean, news, then given news articles, it could then cluster similar news articles together. And for the clustering algorithms as well, I actually tried out different embedding concepts. So text embeddings are there, right? Text vectors. So I use different models like, say, BERT, LBERT, and I did a brief comparison of all the things, like which text embedding or text vectorization model gives you the best results using the, say, suppose the same one clustering algorithm model. So that kind of gives a effective comparison between different text vectorization methods, essentially. And also, I was a bit familiar with front end stuff as well, so that obviously helped to demonstrate, or say deploy it somewhere, because otherwise, back end,
Exactly.
it's very hard for some layman, or some, I mean, one who is not technically adept to learn, I mean, to understand what they're doing. So unless you can
Exactly,
actually,
that happened to me as well. Like I was post 1 year, I was working as a data scientist, right? So
right,
their question was maybe the same thing, right? Like model is working something like this, and we are inputting something, and how we can understand that fit into the practical terms. So the front end plays a major role. Like these are the factors. So this is something they can able to
right.
understand, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Obviously, I mean, because you need to be able to show to people what you are doing,
Yes,
what it
yes,
means.
yes. Like what
Because
is
ultimately, whatever you build, right, out of data science,
Mhm.
your end users will be people who do not know data science. So
Exactly.
you'll need a way to present your work to other people.
Yes, exactly. Uh, like uh, like in the interview process, like what you felt like nowadays end-to-end projects, the companies are looking forward. Like I am getting the lot of DMs like hey Akash, like I am giving the lot of interviews, but they are asking me the end-to-end data science life cycle, like which I am getting a lot of them, like something like they are asking about data ingestion, data transformation pipelines, and all, right? So, like,
Yeah.
what's your key takeaways on that? Like, are
Yeah,
you
I mean,
doing?
see, I mean, in India, right, specifically, it's very hard to find purely data science roles. It's very hard. I mean, and
Mhm.
people, and there's not a, to be honest, there's not a lot of big innovations going on in the data science space in India, I'm saying. So that's why you see a lot of, you don't really see a lot of, like, breakthroughs in data science or stuff coming out from Indian people, right? So mostly work is applied data science or applied machine learning, whatever you call it. And that obviously, to in order to succeed or in order to prosper in this space, you obviously need to know a bit of data engineering as well. I mean, you don't need to be completely I'm completely familiar, like completely. You don't need to have complete knowledge of it, but you at least should know the basics, like how you can fetch data from certain databases, how you can basically ingest the data, process the data, before you
Mm-hmm.
can then feed into your machine learning models. Because in the
Okay.
current industry, it's very, you don't see openings for any role that only asks you to build a model and train a
Mm-hmm.
model, and just what they will ask you to do is to fetch the data from somewhere, process it in some particular way, clean it, and then train your model. And then you'll have to deploy as well. I mean, that's an optional thing. People can have, people cannot, might not have. No, it's not
Okay,
real.
got it. Like, let's say, like, who is a beginner right now, right? Like, he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to transition into a specific, he don't want to go with the any data analyst kind of role. He is specifically targeting on the data scientist role. So, what
Right,
are key takeaways? Like, what he should do to get there, right? What are the key
right.
things he should do so that he
So
can land a job as a data scientist?
So if one wants to stick to only data science only, say suppose data science domain only, obviously his pool of companies would be lesser than someone who obviously knows data engineering, data science, and all these things. In India, I'm saying, right? And also in order to stick to data science only, I mean, he has to do a lot. He has to obviously go through a lot of research papers, learn all the nuances and technicalities of each models and architectures. I also try and replicate all those research papers on its own. Try and, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
do benchmarks, do things so that you, because obviously, when you work on something, right, you learn more than just reading up the research paper. Just reading up
Mm-hmm.
the research paper, you'll just know how the what the model is doing. But when you actually go and implement and write code out of it, you'll actually learn how it is working and
Mm-hmm.
why it is working, what changes, what are its disadvantages, advantages, things like that. That really helps to build up your own knowledge and your basically a new way of looking at things in the data science space. And that I believe that would really help a lot for one candidate, potential candidate to
Right,
get a
right, right,
purely data
right.
science role.
Understood. Like now, like a person, like it is a novice, right? We know at least like this is a programming language. Like who is a novice? Like what are
Mhm.
the key technologies he should focus upon? Like what's your main like ideology to him? You should give the advice for him. Like what are the key things he should focus first? That at least like this
Mhm.
month he should target on this kind of plans he can make it so that at least he can around 3 to 4 months if he is focusing so that he will be like expert in that era like machine learning or python it may be like he should be at least get the basic idea about it.
Yes, yes. So obviously, see, the first thing to start with is when you're getting into data science space,
Hmm.
you need to know Python, because everything in data
Hmm.
science is mostly it's been Python. A lot of people use R as well, but I think Python is the majority, and Python is where the most exciting developments are happening at the moment. So
Hmm.
Python is one key thing to look at, learn, or not only the basics of Python, but also learn what is multi-threading, what is asynchronous programming, and also learn how EPAs work and what EPAs work. Because when you down the line, right, when you build your own models, you need to serve it through an EPAs or something so that other people can use it. They won't
Okay.
be mostly they won't be using the machine learning models directly. They will always use it through APIs or something, like how we use GPT APIs, right? OpenAI APIs. We use it
Okay.
through
Okay.
their APIs. We don't use the model directly. We just query the OpenAI API and they gave us back the results when by passing our own data through their models. So
Okay.
Python is one thing that is extremely important. One cannot ignore.
Mhm.
Secondly, I think mathematics as in, so
Yeah.
mathematics as in like how gradient descent
Mhm.
works, what spread propagation, what are the loss function, and how a
Mhm.
particular model is trained. But like when you make one particular change, how it affects the performance of the model and why it affects the performance of the model. So
Yes.
once you're done with Python and maths, you move on to
Mhm.
implementations, as in you learn to build your own small programs. It doesn't need to be very hard, or you don't need to pick up a very complex problem.
Mhm.
So you can pick up, say, the Titanic data set, and out of the Titanic data set you could create your own problem statements out of it. You could say do exploratory data analysis on the data set. You could do your own classification algorithm, classification problem. You could make also say do your own basically data analytics and stuff you can all do. So basically it's picking just one single data set, try and make up your own problem statements, and then work on solving those problem statements in different methods, right?
You mean to say is like whatever we are learning, we should have the basic idea on the APIs as well. And maths, we have to understand, but not into depth into it. Should
Yeah, obviously.
okay, okay. And at the last, the whatever the problem statement the particular student is taking, he
Mhm.
should do end to end, right? That is
Yes,
only.
and you can also try out different methods. Like if you have a problem statement, right? Because even if you have say come up with a solution, it doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean that's the best solution. You need to think about ways how you can improve that solution rather than directly moving on to the next problem. Just go in depth into that problem, create different, I mean, do different pre-processing methods, come up with your own new algorithms, try out ensemble of algorithms, try bagging, boosting, and see
Okay.
how it impacts the results of the data set and how you can improve it.
Okay, you mean to say is like pick a problem statement, try the
Mhm.
apply to the ML algorithm, different ML algorithms applied to see
Yes.
how the performance is there to check the accuracy about it, right?
Yes, not only algorithms, I say different
Mm.
methods, as in say data cleaning and data processing,
Mm.
everything.
Mm.
So like how you remove stopwords? Do you keep the stopwords? Do you lowercase everything? Do you not lowercase everything? Do you remove punctuations? Not remove punctuations? Everything,
Okay.
things like that.
Got it, got it. Now the next process is coming like now the chat GPT, LLM models, everything is came right. Now, how do you approach that technology? Like, is that nowadays the people are saying that this is a technology has came like it has taking away the jobs, right? Like, how do you see this in the data science space? Like, as this like increase the productivity wise or like how you feel like while working on this GPT and LLM models actually.
So I think GPT and LLM models are like a boon to people, like, but only the people who are like well knowledgeable and know their stuff, it helps them, right? So what I think GPT and all these models will do is basically increase productivity. That's for sure. So if one single
Mhm.
problem statement was previously being solved by 10 people, now it could be solved by 5 people, right? I don't think it
Mhm.
would completely remove the need of any engineers or data scientists because you'll always need people to work on problem statements and stuff.
Okay.
But I feel that the number of companies, like, right, companies, if they hired 100 people before,
Mhm.
they would now be able to do the same work with 50 people because it increases if you know how to use chat gpt and like this all these other llm models. If you can
Mhm.
actually harness its true power and knowledge, I think you could boost up your productivity by a lot.
Okay, okay, that's great. Like what I felt is like ChatGPT is nothing like it is all about the prompting, right? Like how the things
Yes, yes.
what we give the inputs, that is only we are getting the output. Like if no
Yes.
one knows like how to prompt the ChatGPT or any models, so it will not
Mhm.
give that much prompt
Yeah,
response.
yeah. Right. I mean, just using ChatGPT won't really help at all. You need to know how you can actually use its true knowledge, how you can provide instructions, all this stuff.
Can you just share your experiences how the chat GPT has boosted your productivity in like working on the projects or it may be.
Right. Say while working on projects, right, I sometimes come across bugs and issues. I mean, I regularly come across bugs and issues. Previously, what I used to do is I used to search it on Google, go through Stack Overflows, go through like 10, 15 different questions on Stack Overflow. But now what I need to do is just frame my bug or issue, whatever I'm facing as a question and pass it to ChatGPT. And it will give me a solution. Obviously, it might not get be correct at first go, but at least it gives me a hint of how we should approach in order to solve the particular bug or an issue. So it gives me a starting point, right? And from that
Mhm.
starting point, I can then also refine my Google searches, I mean, look at different stuff, do my own experiments, or even ask ChatGPT again, like with a different question, frame it in a different way. So previously, if I needed to go through like 10, 15 stack overflow different questions, now I could just get the same solution answered by just going through like two or three at max stack overflow questions because ChatGPT already gives me a starting point, good starting point to go with.
Okay, step by step, mean to say, like
Yeah, yeah,
overall plan, right? Like
yes.
in your experience, right? Like what are the common mistakes or pitfalls that you faced as a junior data scientist? Like should like junior data scientists should be aware of that so that they can avoid them. They should. These are the common mistake they should not do.
Yeah, common mistake. I think one of the key factors is not giving up, because I see a lot of people, and also it was the same problem in myself. Like whenever I used to try a new library or a new model, right, I came up with issue like bugs, or I mean there are different errors it threw up. And instead of directly going to the web and actually searching it directly, I mean why not just try and explore why the issue is happening, go inside the code base actually, and just learn how why it is failing. Obviously, when you are like building something and you need to optimize your speed and everything, you should
Mm.
go and query Google directly. But when you're learning and when you're coming across some errors or issues, I think you should first try and investigate yourself and see why it's happening, and how, and basically learn how the library is written, how and why, I mean, and how it can be improved, and how you can say not come across the same error again. Also,
Okay.
one more thing is that I see a lot of people not doing is through the daily libraries that we use, right? Say the pandas or like NumPy, whatever. We use it directly and we never look at the code base and everything, like how it is actually written. So a lot of the common popular libraries are open source actually, and you could actually go inside it and learn basically and see how the whole programs and libraries are written. So if you go through all these codes and well, you learn a lot of stuff, like how you can optimize, like for doing the same operation, how you can decrease the speed of doing the same operation from 10 seconds to 5 seconds, like what steps they have taken, how they use multiprocessing, how they use multi-threading, where they use asynchronous code, that stuff. I think going inside libraries and learning how, and also I think one more important part is how you write code, right? I mean, because if you
Exactly.
write big programs and stuff, and then you need to maintain for the 5 10 years. If you write spaghetti code, it's very hard for other people to come and maintain as well. So you need to learn how to structure your whole code, like where to build classes, when to build objects, when to use abstract classes. And I have learned a lot from looking at other people's code, this thing, because it's very hard to come up with yourself. So looking at other people's code and like popular libraries and how they actually optimally use classes and objects, that really helps in building your own knowledge on writing,
Got it. Like,
forming your
what
own
are
code.
the key takeaways? What I have understood right now from this discussion is like debugging skills and dev skills will never go anywhere. That will
No,
help
never,
you.
never.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So, like as a mentor or as a senior data scientist, what you can give the advice for the piece of advice for the like who is a beginner, like what are the key takeaways he should take as if he is going to proceedings into a data science role, he want to transition into the data scientist.
So one, actually, if one is a beginner and wants to transition into data science, one is a lot of determination and perseverance, because it's very, to get into the field itself is quite hard, to be honest. I mean, and
Mhm.
because and I've seen a lot of people give up after they haven't like they haven't been able to get in this space after like two or three tries. So that doesn't really help. If you truly want to get into data science, you need perseverance. You need to keep working, and you need to always keep yourself updated with the new breakthroughs and research. I've seen other people that who, I mean, who knows all the classical machine learning algorithms and methods, but I have no idea of what's happening in this space, because machine learning is a very rapidly developing space. New things come up each and every day, and obviously you cannot keep
Mhm.
up with everything, but at least the major breakthroughs and the major advancements you should be aware of. So at
Okay.
least tomorrow, if someone asks, like, what's the difference between GPT-3 and GPT-4, you should at least be able to know, like, what GPT-3, what's GPT-3.5, what changes did they do, things like that.
Okay.
Keeping yourself
So
updated and perseverance, I think those are the most important things.
okay, the first thing is when while he is like preparing for anything,
Mm-hmm.
he should focus on the basic things, right?
Yes,
And
definitely.
the key basic things he should well verse in that. And next process, he should keep on like building the projects, whatever the Kaggle projects competition is there. He should keep on
Mm-hmm.
working on that, right?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
That's great. That's great, Adirtha. So that gives a lot of key pointers. to me as well,
Right.
of the things that I have learned from you as well, right?
No,
Mm.
that's okay. That's fine. I mean, do you like take the viewpoints of other people as well regularly? I mean,
Like I
like
have
how?
started, this is the first informational interview, Adirtha. Like I am planning to do several people to like I am just DMing them so that I
Hmm.
will get the experiences from that. I will learn too from them as well, and viewers just keep on asking that how like keep bringing the same data scientist kind of a roles and all. So that's why the things have started like started right now itself. So the
Hmm.
things will help me a lot as well, and the it like we will help to the community as well, right? Like that helps a lot to them as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, sure, for sure.
Yeah. So like if you
Send it to
thanks,
you.
Aditya. So that's like if anything is there, I will just keep contacting you and we will be keeping the touch.
Sure, 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 Akash. Sure, it is pleasure.
Yeah, like another thing I
So,
want to say that like this is like key things in the name of your company, like
hmm?
fake recruiter came to me and he is asking
Yeah.
like why it has happened. I don't know. Like I was very like curious what has happened. Like next day, next the things they are asking about, like you should focus on the tab 2 certification. Is this anything is there like that?
No, I mean, we don't require any certification or anything in our company. I don't know how this and why this scamming, this fake recruiting agency came up, but they have approached a lot of people like you. Like, I mean, how they approached you, they sent you the offer letter. They send you the offer letter directly, and then they ask you to do a course, right? So, actually, as far as I know, our HR team is looking into it, and they are trying to see all whatever legal actions they can take against this particular team or I mean group of
Like
people.
I literally I thought that it is logo of InveniAI itself.
Yeah, yeah, they use the same logo. It's our own logo, but
Like I
it's
was
just that in their email addresses domains they used L instead of I to just make it look similar. So INVENI, right? So instead of I, they use capital small L, which actually looks like I
like it
itself.
is based on Chennai or Bangalore. I am little bit
No,
literally confused.
so InveniAI is actually they are based in US and Switzerland. So they in India they work through an Indian entity. They have a different entity called VetTech Bio, through which people work for InveniAI. So InveniAI themselves don't have a direct presence in India. Even though like I work for InveniAI Bio, but I work for VetTech Bio. This is InveniAI's company itself, but it's an Indian subsidiary.
Okay, that's great, Adirtha. So
Yeah.
if there is anything openings kind of that, I will be. I'm just planning to like create a special Telegram group as well. So like openings if it is there, so that helps community as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Thank you,
Cool.
Aditya. Thank
Okay. Thanks.
you.
Thanks, Akash.
Yeah,
Have a great
yeah,
evening.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye.